Must-know strategies that successful trainees will master. My email address is here. The goal for this few-minute talk will be for you guys to be able to implement strategies that will help you optimize the probability of your future success. Why do we need a strategy to achieve success? A reasonable question. Well, medical school, residency, fellowship, practicing radiology and all types of medicine is challenging, it's stressful, it's full of potential hurdles. Add on top of that the healthcare marketplace is charting a new and uncertain value-oriented path. Lots of decisions are yet to be made. The only thing we know for sure is that in 2, 5, and 10 years, the system that is upon us may be unrecognizable, when compared to our current situation. And then also success is not guaranteed. So hope is not a strategy. We need something more than that to be successful, and so we'll give a few pointers on this. This talk is focusing on strategy. What is that? It's a plan of action or policy designed to achieve a goal or overall aim. And where does the content for today come from? Well, I could say that I've had experiences. I've run an ambulance service. I've been chief resident. I've gone to business school. I've been an entrepreneur. I've been a job applicant. I've hired people. I've been involved in organized radiology. I'm my group's strategist, various types of things. But I think the richness of this talk comes from conversations and colleagues that I've had with some of you in the audience today, many people across the country, and this is really the result of quite a bit of crowdsourcing to get this content. I sent out a nationwide survey, and people gave me, I thought, insightful information that I'm aiming to share with you. So what kind of success are these tips trying to achieve? In particular, you have to realize that succeeding is different. It's not just getting by in residency and fellowship. And it's important also that an aim would be to find the right job that's for you, but really also for you to be able to thrive beyond your training. So what do you do early in training? I know some of you are early in residency. One of the comments sent in by one of the people in the audience today was that your first day of residency is your first day of a 5-year job interview. That's not how I approached my first day of residency. Not at all. But in looking back, it probably would have been the most successful way of conceptualizing this new task I was undertaking. If you're going to think that it's your first day of a long interview, you want to approach each day of work as if it's your interview. And realize that often a potential employer will call whoever they know that may know you. So you don't know who it's going to be. In fact, they may not even tell you they're doing so. I arrived to work after a vacation during fellowship, and the technologist told me that 2 people had called and asked about me. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I didn't authorize any of that. And in fact, I just barely sent in a CV when I left for a vacation. But nonetheless, this will be going on in the background. So if you're treating it like it's a job interview, always keep that in mind. And realize also that your co-residents may be your reference. That's something that not everyone has in mind. Additionally, update your CV in real time and always have it ready for opportunities as they arise so that you can send it out without telling them, oh, hold on, give me a few weeks, I'll get back to you. You really want to be prepared for opportunities in real time. What are you going to put on your CV? Well, the generic way that I could kind of summarize what lots of people said was to do stuff in residency. What is it that you like? How do you do more of that? How do you make a difference in your program? That'll be different for all of you. Some contributions are related to education, teaching your peers, teaching your medical students. Some trainees teach their attendings. Research, some people really like it. Other people involve themselves in operations or in IT projects or analytics, a very popular theme now. MBA is an option, RLI. If you're interested in leadership, go to radleaders.org, radleaders.org. All kinds of opportunities for you to distinguish yourself. Log everything you do in training onto your CV. Otherwise, it's hopeless to try to remember it or recreate it later. And this will prove to practices that you actually did stuff and ensure that you're selected over other candidates because they want to hire people who will do things when they matriculate at that job. And always have it ready. So we have an audience response question. I have created an effective network of radiologists to help me in my job search. So A is strongly agree in that 13%. Now you might be tempted To perceive this highlighted one to be a majority, but you appreciate the small pie size means that 87% don't strongly agree. But about half of people agree that they've established a network. That's good, and the rest of the task will be to get everyone else on board. So what are some additional strategies? If we talk about network development, realize that there are some barriers. Many of the people in the audience are introverted, and that personality trait can make networking very difficult. You may have to push past that and demonstrate some extroversion to really reach out and connect with people who can make a difference for you and your career success. Networking with as many people as possible from around the country is really important for job and future career success. How do you leverage your network once you create it? Well, you want to keep track of the people that you meet. You want to reach out to your local community. You can go to your state chapter ACR meetings. Every state has a state ACR society, the RSNA. Force yourself to speak with presenters. And you can also be active on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever is of most interest. But beware those pitfalls too. Foster these relationships, develop them, be in touch with people longitudinally, and also seek out second and third level contacts. A lot of the networking success I've been fortunate to have is a result of friends of people. You meet someone and they know someone else who is of much more interest in terms of where you want to go. Keep a spreadsheet or an Evernote. Do something to maintain your contacts and put yourself out there when it comes time to look for jobs. Those are key. Also, late in training now, think of 5 references and identify them early in your 4th year. Again, this is a fantastic tip that came from one of the people in the audience here. Tell them about your career plans. Be open, honest with them, and ask them for their support. Attendings will give you information about jobs first, and you get the inside scoop if something opens up, but mostly only if they know what you're interested in. So pick some people, specifically ask them, could you give me a strong recommendation for jobs as they come along? And if you ask it that way, they will give you a strong recommendation. You don't just want a recommendation or an average recommendation or lackluster recommendation. That's not going to be very helpful. Additionally, late in training, cast a wide net for jobs. Leverage the RSNA, ACR. Go to your specialty career site. Most of them have job sites. Send your CV and cover letter out to groups, but you can send them out to people who are not hiring, but are in your target geographic region. You may have low yield, but it'll be non-zero. And it only takes one response to get your dream job, was a quote from the survey I sent that I really liked. Narrow your search as you assess your competitiveness and the strength of the market. Don't narrow your search the first day. Send out feelers, set a wide net, and see what comes through. Additionally, figure out what you want in the job search, which I think is probably the hardest part of doing the job search after fellowship. Getting what you want requires knowing what you want, and ask what is your ideal job. This question's harder than it may seem. We'll do one more. Which 2 factors are most important to you in selecting a job? So you can pick 2. The options: geographic location, practice type. That would reference academic versus private. RVU expectations. How many cases do I have to read? What types of studies do I have to read? Can I only read left elbow MRI, or do I have to read everything that's done in radiology? Time off. That means not working. Some people calculate time off by number of weeks vacation. It's meaningless. There's so many different assumptions that places will have. My own wife, despite my interest in this job search stuff, took a job where she didn't understand what it was that she got as time off, because they included a bunch of holidays and post-call days in her weeks of vacation, which she assumed would be on top of the allotted vacation. So you really want to take the number of days you're working. That's the only metric to know about time off versus time you're at work. So the survey says, and number 1 corresponds to geographic location. That's very common. I've given this to a few different audiences with geographic location frequently coming out on top. Number 2 is letter B, which is practice type. So you care about whether it's going to be academic or private. That's reasonable. And then the third one, salary. Okay, people care about that, huh? And then practice type. Okay, very good. And then M is advancement opportunity. So pretty cool. Keep realistic expectations of your job search. I advocate a token approach. Realize that all these metrics, and we'll figure out which ones you like most in just a minute, but all of these really are elements you want to be considering for each job offer that you receive, and you'll all get excellent job offers. But when you're looking at it, realize that you only have a certain number of tokens. So you think of yourself, maybe I have like 50 tokens. I can allocate 40 of them to geographic location because I need to be in either San Francisco or New York City. Well, then you're going to really not have any tokens left when it comes to things like salary, time off, frequency you take call, things like that. You've used all your tokens. So in your own mind, you might consider which of these are most important, or in which of these categories do I want to allocate my limited tokens? Cool. Okay. Look at all potential jobs. Some may be way better than advertised. The only way you know that is to apply, go through the process. You can drop out of the process at any time you want, but if you don't start, you'll never know. Remember that you're also interviewing the job group, and that's particularly important. So be nice to all staff on the interview day. Not doing so frequently closes doors, even if it's any person that you may not think you've offended. Just be very strategic and polite. Stick to your principles after you leave training. Remember the basics. Common diagnoses are common. Not everything is zebra. Don't try to rush. Remain confident in your skills. Don't say anything to your colleagues that you wouldn't want them to email your group about. That's really important. Kind of like trust no one. Be willing to adapt, contribute to your group, be a team player, work hard every day. And so summarizing the 6 strategies, synthesizing, think and act strategically, do it every day. Be engaged and involved, you'll stick out and you'll go places. Create and leverage an effective network. Realize that anyone may be the key reference for your ideal job and you won't know who that person is initially. Be open to all types of jobs and then hone in on the ones that are closest to your ideal job. And last, work hard, be adaptable, and stay confident.